Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Full Send Sims Esports Awards Night. I'm Kyle Heyer, joined by Greg Kramer, celebrating 2 seasons of great racing as we make our way into the off-season once again. I am behind the stream tonight, but Greg Kramer is with me here. Greg, welcome back. Of course, we finished out our season a couple of weeks ago, but time to celebrate not just this past season, but also Season 1 of our competitors in the Full Send Sims Spec Miata series.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hi, everybody. Great to have you with us. And we're so proud of everything that you've achieved this year. And, Kyle, we were talking about it even before we got the show started. At the end of the races, there's just not enough time to do justice to presenting trophies and acknowledging the achievements that these competitors have put in. And it's been awesome. It's been absolutely a joy. First season and second season, absolutely over and above. And really have enjoyed it. And we just wanted to take a little bit more time and really acknowledge everybody and what they're doing. And of course, that includes we have Court Schmidt here, of course, the founder of Full Send Sims, the visionary behind this series. And Court, I know that this means an awful lot to you. And what's been unfolding. The first season for a debut season, I think, was just superb. And the second season just took it to another level.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't really expect, right out of the gate it would be such a success, but we're really seeing a lot of action on the track and a lot of action behind the scenes. You keep quoting me as being the visionary, but I'll tell you what, we've got a great team that's behind us that, between our stewards and, Beans Forrester helping out, Jim Friedhofer helping out, Andrew Benaw. You guys as the broadcasters, it is an effort to put on something like this. And, we just want everybody to have a great time and everyone behind it has just been absolutely amazing. And I couldn't thank you more. So, and to the people watching as well, we're getting a lot of viewers as well. And I think people are really enjoying it. It's something that can scratch that itch while you can't go real life racing or watch real life racing. And it's been really great. So I just want to thank everyone. I really appreciate it. And, we're going to have a great night tonight.
I think we are too. It's been an absolutely superb season that's unfolded, and totally agree with you on the just the professionalism and everybody that's involved and makes this series absolutely what it is. And I think it's kind of cutting edge, I think, in terms of what's going on in iRacing, especially the presentation. And a lot of that, we have to acknowledge, goes to Kyle Heyer and his Sim TV group. Court, he has done just an amazing job in not just being a co-announcer with me, obviously, but also in terms of essentially being the producer of the shows. He's just been absolutely superb.
100%, absolutely. And Kyle, I can't thank you enough for you were super busy, and your talent is being demanded across the nation now, and both live and virtual. And we really appreciate you coming in and supporting everything we're trying to do. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate you for bringing me on. It has been a pleasure to work alongside Greg and call an amazing race series and watch some genuinely great esports racing. So I appreciate that, and thanks again for putting this on for all of us to enjoy. Greg, we've got 2 seasons worth of celebrations. Of course, at the tail end of Season 1, we awarded some awards at the end of the broadcast, but we'll go over those. We're going to look at some season highlights from season number 2, and then we'll finish the night with our Season 2 awards and trophies. Generally the same awards for both seasons, but different winners for many of them. And I guess we'll start things off with Season 1 right at the top of the pylon as far as the season championship goes. Hard-fought season, Greg. I think a lot of drivers were learning the car, learning the racetracks, learning the format, but there was one driver that kind of dusted everybody when it came to the points accumulation, and that was Morgan Burkhardt.
Yeah, he just clicked into it, didn't he? He really clicked into it. It was a unique setup on these Mazda MX-5s, and he just seemed to be able to dial into it and just be really, really fast, consistent, and generally a mistake-free. Ended up with the championship, and did so relatively comfortably. Not to say that he wasn't pushed at spots, and there were other competitors out there, but I think his consistency, Kyle, was really what made that work.
It absolutely was. And Morgan is going to join us now, so we'll bring in Morgan. And Morgan, if you want to unmute and celebrate with us, it's the Season 1 champion for the Full Send Sim Spec Miata series. What does it mean to be a champion in Season number 1? It was a hard-fought championship, but you did it better than everybody else.
Well, for sure. I mean, it means a lot. It's a very difficult series, like Greg was saying with this car. It's kind of difficult to really be really quick and consistent with it. You have to balance it because it weighs so much. You have to really play with your inputs to get it to kind of float through corners without using up the tires, without like overstressing your equipment too much. So it's a testament to the capabilities, especially with all of these drivers who were so close all the time in Season 1 and even more so in Season 2. So it's an extremely difficult car to drive. I mean, it's a Miata, which is like stereotypically an easy car to drive, but in the sim, when we're pushing 10 tenths, sometimes 11 tenths, it's very difficult.
Well, and I think that is one of the things that really has sort of put a little exclamation point on how good the competitors are in this Full Send Sims Spec Miata series, because the cars have been a challenge, and just seeing everybody's ability to get on top of that, Morgan, and race has been really good. And there have been some competitors that pushed you really hard. So it must feel, pretty good, obviously, especially that first season where nobody really had much time with these cars, and with the rules package from that first season to end up on top.
Yeah, for sure. It's a wonderful feeling. I mean, with Caleb Patry, Rowan Gill, especially just kind of hounding and being right there all season, I couldn't really have any time to make mistakes or slip up. I had to be, 100% correct all the time. And then it's nerve-wracking to be in these races. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but you end up sweating a lot of the time. You come back and you're like drained after it mentally. So it's a lot of fun, but it's definitely a stressor.
All right. Well, Court, I think that was a huge compliment to, for him to say that, to get ready for a virtual esports race was really stressful. That's testament to the competition that's found here. Morgan, again, congratulations on that Season 1 championship.
Thank you very much.
And that was 357 points that Morgan won the championship with, but with 241, a driver that was hot on the heels for much of the season, found some consistency. That was Beans Forster, second place in Spec Miata Season 1. Beans, hard fought every single season, every single race, but a second place middle step on the podium has to feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of like what Morgan said. It's super tough with how close these cars drive. It's not like the Global MX-5 Cup car where you can just sit in a draft and gain 7, 8, 9 tenths coming out of a decent straightaway. You really have to kind of plan and work for your passes, and qualifying is even more important in this series versus racing other cars.
Well, and that's a really good point as well. It isn't easy in this series, is it, to get through the field? And that's been one of your strong suits, Beans. When you're up front, you're always up front and you're getting points and you're pushing. But on the rare occasions when you have an issue, you always seem to work your way up into the front and be competitive and really hound people. And I think second place, incredibly well deserved for you, sir.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And so that was Beans Forster, second place in the first season of Spec Miata. Third place, we have him here. I think we've got at least audio from Caleb Patry, who was our third place finisher, 206 points. Caleb, are you here? You got a copy?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
We sure got you. Caleb, third place in Spec Miata, 206 points, just 35 behind Beans Forster. Take me through the trials and tribulations of that first season, battling drivers like Morgan and Beans.
Definitely. It was, like Morgan said, it's pretty tough with how close everybody was. Again, I missed the first 2 rounds of the season, so I was a little bit behind in points, but yeah, it was definitely a challenge getting used to the car, getting used to how it drives, and trying to overcome the challenges of the other drivers. But I felt I learned a lot in that first season, and I was happy with what I was able to put up, despite the setbacks I had.
Well, and yeah, I mean, you came in and you were immediately right there, and obviously, part of the same team as Morgan, you were a tremendous addition to the championship, and the fact that even though you missed a number of the races early, you were able to come back and end up in the top three and finish third in the championship. Real testament to your skills. We saw that play out even more so when we got to season 2, but really strong effort in season 1. Great addition to the championship. Congratulations, Caleb.
Yeah, thank you.
So with the podium prizing awarded, we'll move on now to the specialty awards, and we're going to do them in order that we've been given them. The first of up is the Greg Kramer Perpetual Trophy. And Greg, this is a trophy named after you. I think it's great to have a trophy that gets passed on from driver to driver, season after season. What, in your mind, is a driver that best earns the Greg Kramer Perpetual Trophy?
Well, there are an awful lot of things that I think, go into it. I think it's racing after all, right? So being a racer, being fast, being, very competitive, that's certainly part of it. But it also, there are things that sort of circulate around that make it important. You can be fast, but if you're inconsistent and you throw it off the track a lot, you're not going to end up with a lot of wins, let alone championships. Also, racing with some level of sportsmanship, being willing to help out competitors in one way, shape, or form. There are a lot of different ways that can do that. And to me, the winner of when I envisioned who I would think would be a winner of the Perpetual Trophy was somebody who was pretty much the complete package, right? And that's not to say that that somebody who's on the rise couldn't, get there. But there are just a lot of things to consider. And with Morgan, the things that stood out when obviously he got the award for season 1, his speed was unquestioned, right? And that wasn't any issue. His consistency was what really caught my eye. Just remarkable, his consistency. But also, he's a coach and an instructor on the Full Send Sims individual and schools. He just really supports Full Send Sims and this championship, as well as being a competitor in it. And you look at, may this trophy forever honor the trailblazers who epitomize the essence of full send and inspire others to embrace the thrill of racing. And to me, in that first season in particular, that just simply described Morgan. That's why he got the Greg Kramer Perpetual Trophy for season 1.
And Morgan, we talked to you a minute ago after winning the championship, but a lot of drivers and a lot of people in the sport will tell you there's a whole lot more to racing than just winning. What does it mean to be the first driver to be on that Perpetual Trophy award for Greg Kramer?
First of all, I'm honored to be the first name on the trophy, but it's like you said, there's a lot more to racing than just winning. I mean, when I started the sport in the real world, we did it because it was fun. I mean, at the end of the day, we all like to race because it's enjoyable. If it wasn't fun, why would we do it? So I like to race more than anything else. It's a joy for me. It's one of my passions. And if I can spread that around and help people with it, make them feel more comfortable with it, make them happier with their own performances, then I'm all for it. So it's, at the end of the day, it's about making everybody as happy as they can be with their passion and with their sports.
I kind of like that, Kyle. Spread the joy of motorsports. That's a pretty serious part of this trophy. Well done.
It is, and the Greg Kramer Perpetual Trophy Award for Season 1, Morgan Burkhardt. The next award is the Full Send Sims Sportsmanship Award, and this was awarded at the tail end of Season 1. And Greg, we talk about there's a whole lot more to racing than just winning. Of course, there's the Greg Kramer Award, but this award is specific to sportsmanship on track and off, and being a good competitor alongside everyone when they're in a high-octane environment, even in the sim.
Absolutely. Sportsmanship is really the key to me to successful racing. You heard Morgan sort of talk about bringing the joy. Well, that sportsmanship, when you're showing that to your competitors, right? That keeps the joy alive. That keeps it happening. Sportsmanship generally, means something where you've done something, whether it's on the track in your style of driving, whether it's behind the scenes, that keeps that joy, that energy, that passion for racing coming. And I don't think anybody had any doubt that an incredibly deserving guy for that in season 1 was Rich Green.
Yeah, Rich Green joins us now. Rich, Sportsmanship Award, that's got to mean a lot to be respected by everybody because you respect them. Talk to us a little bit about winning that award in season number 1.
Well, first of all, I was very floored to even be considered for an award because I am so new to driving and racing. I'm very green at it. I got into it because I was an avid golfer and I had back surgery, a spinal fusion. And so I had to find something else to fill the void because I was addicted to golf. So this is my new addiction. And I was just trying to learn everything. And I kind of take it like I do golf, how I approach golf, from the lesson standpoint to preparing, to practicing, to taking it out on the racetrack. So that's how I'm approaching it. And like I said, I was floored when I was, picked for this award, and I appreciate it. And I put in a lot of hard work just to get where I'm at right now. And also I like to thank Beans Forster, Morgan, Court, all those guys that have been helping me out throughout this whole process. And it's just a blast. I enjoy it. These guys are fun to race with. They even offer points on, racing and stuff like that. They coach you, and they're really good at both. So I feel like I'm in a win-win situation right now. So I just enjoy it a lot, and it's my new passion. So hopefully, and maybe real soon, I will be up there with them guys competing instead of jumping the front of the line there like I did at Long Beach. But yeah, I enjoy it. And like I said, this whole thing is it's all new to me. And it's this particular, the FSS league is ran very well. It's very organized. Even the driving schools are awesome. I love those. You learn a lot. And, from the beginning of an aspect of one of those driving schools, towards the end of it, I would gain like 2 or 3 seconds on my lap time. So it's just amazing how much you can learn in so fast a time with these guys. So it's great. I love it.
No, Rich, thank you so much. It's been great having you in the championship. And again, congratulations on the award. Well earned.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Sportsmanship and the Perpetual Trophy have been awarded, but how about the 3P Logistics Hard Charger Award? And this is an award that is for a driver that consistently moves forward in the field and does it cleanly and does it with vigor. And every event is always a driver that might not qualify up front, but they will get up front, Greg.
Absolutely. And, there have been, times when I remember Tony Gaples, he would win this award fairly frequently in World Challenge competitions. And he would always kind of shake his head and go, really, this is the not good qualifier award. And I always vigorously argued with that. And I said, because there's a difference between a qualifier and a racer. And of the two, give me a racer any day. Because a racer can overcome something happening with qualifying. And this has always been an award that I have put a lot of stock and credibility into, because to work your way through a field, and when you're talking about a field that's as competitive and as fierce as we have in the Full Send Sim Spec Miata series, that speaks very highly, I think, of a driver's ability. When the green flag drops, they're all in when you win sportsman awards. And boy, I'll tell you, in that first season, there was no question that Andrew Wozencroft was all in every race.
He was, and I don't think we've got him on video, but he should be here. Andrew, we got you now. There you are. The 3P Logistics Hard Charger Award for season number 1. Take us through your season and tell us how you feel after winning this award back in season number 1.
First off, thank you. I hope you can hear me.
Yep.
If you can nod your head, fantastic. It's a privilege, honestly. I first really sometimes don't have words when I when I heard what Greg said, but I love it, honestly. This is to Court. I met Court right after the pandemic started, and it I'm kind of touched because I know every single one of you guys through driving, and it's really touching to get that. I know there's some brilliant drivers here, and from both sim and real world. And to Greg, to Kyle, for you guys bringing your amazing experience to the broadcast, to making it such honestly a great time to watch even after we race because we have such a good time racing. To me, it's a true testament of how good this league is. For me, be able to drive and try to better my racecraft, which was my big, my first initial thought was sim racing because I do drive Spec Miata in real life, and it's to me to be able to say that this is equal or sometimes even better to the real thing because of the people in this chat room or who are watching that are unable to attend the award ceremonies just because of what they bring to the group. You have to respect each other to drive well. Of course, we get better every race, and certain times there's instances that we can't predict, such as if the game has a glitch due to close contact, trying to predict where we're going to be. But a lot of the times it's just we're challenging each other, and it's making everyone better. And especially what Rich was saying with Beans and everybody doing the driving school, we're all getting better, which makes the job of passing even easier. And I've always enjoyed it. And honestly, I'm trying to get better. I know everyone knows that as well, and it's the fact that there's always a challenge, there's always a way to get better, and we work as a group. And so I can totally agree with what everyone's saying, that everyone here is willing to help, provide their knowledge, and then work to try to make the racing experience great because it's what brings people back. And it's also beautiful when I get to see some of you in the real life, at different racing events, either karting, SECA, NASA, wherever it is. There's such a wide kind of touch that we have in terms of motorsports, and I can't wait to see where this goes further for Court and FSS. I know you're going to get great people to come and add to what the great people we have today, and that we've raced in season 1 and season 2. And I'm sorry I couldn't really attend season 2 just due to work arrangements, but I definitely look forward to trying to get to season 3 as much as possible.
Well, we certainly missed you in season 2, and we look forward to you getting back with us for season 3. And I think you maybe hit the nail on the head, Andrew, in terms of the racing in this series is so fierce that sometimes it really pushes the tech. You know what I mean? In terms of the passing and the racing. So incredibly well earned. Look forward to having you back with us in season 3.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Andrew. One more award for season number 1 before we announce the hardware prizes that have already gone out to those winners, and then we'll get into season 2 just after. The final award for season 1, the final specialty award, is the Final Turn Motorsports Most Improved Award. Now, Greg, this is an award that goes out to a driver that might have had a rocky start, but they'll get it sorted out and they improve over the course of the season. They put in the effort to be up at the front of the grid or at least move forward in the grid by the tail end of the season.
Absolutely. And, when you think about a most improved award, right, nobody ever gets the perfect lap in. It's the pursuit of that perfect lap that matters. And you don't make those big steps, right, without having a willingness to open your mind and say, what can I do better? And is it something that you just try on the track? Do you seek out input from others, but actually listen and pay attention and then start to apply them? And the key is to continue to work to improve your racing, whether it's speed, whether it's racecraft, whatever. And the most improved award, to me, that's the one that signals this is somebody who really wants to make that big step, who is open to improvement, however it may come. Sometimes they're hard lessons, sometimes they're just lessons, but whoever's open to it and starts to make those steps during, the course of a season, they're the ones that sort of catch your eye. And we had somebody in that first season that really was somebody who was fun to watch, and you could see each race, the little improvements that added together make a big step. And that, Kyle, was Max Bankin.
And Max Bankin joins us now. Max, in the garage. I love the scene that we've got in your background. But thanks for joining us, and congratulations on the Most Improved Award presented by Final Turn Motorsports. Take us through last season and your journey from or up the grid, I should say.
Thank you. I appreciate the award. When COVID started, I got really heavily into the sim racing, specifically the Global MX5 Cup. And eventually I decided that I wanted to do this in real life. But MX5 Cup is a little more on the pricey side than I would like to be into. So I decided to try out SM. And I had never even driven a manual car until probably about 2 years ago. So yeah, I've been practicing that, and I was lucky enough to meet Court and Frank from 3P Logistics, and I've been pitting with him in real life. And I got lucky enough to be put in this league to a place where I can practice using H pattern, because there's really nowhere else that I've found that has good, I mean, really, really fun, great racing like this series does. So it's really helped me out a lot to just have the motivation to sit there and practice by myself for these tracks, and just have fun doing it in the process to help me out. So yeah, I've put in a good amount of work, and yeah, learning to drive stick shift for me was a little tough. I'm getting there though. So yeah, that's basically it.
Well, as you said, the willingness to figure out a way, particularly to apply this to your real world racing, coming from a position of not being really familiar with a gated, stick shift, to have not only the opportunity, which was there through this series, but to be able to say, yes, I'm going to do that to work and improve. That's exactly what we're talking about, Max. So absolutely, well done on the award. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Court. And thanks to everybody in the league. And I'll see you guys next season.
Thank you, Max. And now for the hardware prizes, we'll announce them, but I also want to get another word from Court as we announce this portion. Again, these are prizes that were already awarded and should already be on their way. But the three winners of the hardware prizes, of course, there's a direct drive wheelbase, a load cell pedals, and an H-pattern sequential shifter, all from Fanatec. Those three winners for the wheelbase was Morgan Burkhardt, the load cell pedals to Caleb Patry, and the H-pattern sequential to Rowan Gill. Now, Court, equipment isn't absolutely necessary for overall pace, but it does make you very consistent, and having high-quality gear is a big part of finding some consistency in the esports side. So take us through those prizes and those award winners.
Yeah, so the direct drive wheelbases have kind of become, the industry standard in terms of, response and the true feel, and that's what Full Send is really all about. Our underlying goal is, try to replicate real life as much as possible. And in order to be able to do that, that's where the hard work can come into play to calibrate it and adjust it properly to have that kind of right feel. So for Morgan, we sent him a Fanatec DD2 direct drive wheelbase. To give you an idea, your standard Logitech entry-level wheelbase is about 3 Newton meters of rotational torque. And that's the force that's, kind of putting it on it. Now, granted, that's the peak torque, right? So with the wheelbase that we sent to Morgan, that's actually a 25 Newton meter wheelbase. And it works just like a real race car does. It allows us the headroom to kind of calibrate that hardware in order to allow it, to peak at the proper times and actually have that proper peak. So obviously you don't run it at 25 Newton meters, you wouldn't be able to turn the wheel. But that's a really good wheelbase, and I think Morgan's hopefully getting a lot of good use out of it. And then for Caleb, we sent him a set of Fanatec V3 inverted pedals. And funnily enough, he actually had a set of V3 standard pedals. And what those are floor mounted upright pedals. And we actually got some feedback from him that from what we're hearing is he likes the inverteds a lot better, and again, that's something else that we've kind of identified even in the Fanatec realm that we use because of, reliability, and we've kind of perfected the way we can calibrate things. Just a simple change in, hanging the clutch and the brake pedal, in terms of instead of having it come up from the floor, I think Caleb can attest that he's liking them a lot better. So, and then for the shifter, Fanatec's created a really great shifter that's versatile in terms of an H pattern, but also there's a switch on the side of it that you can flip for, sequential shifting. So it's kind of dual use, right? Not a lot of shifters out there, and the shifters they still need to come a bit of ways, but Fanatec's kind of leading the realm in that. And there are other great wheelbases out there too, and Full Send will build rigs with pretty much anything you want, but we always kind of recommend Fanatec just because it's a very simple ecosystem that allows, like I said, reliability and helps us to create that real life scenario. So
thanks, Court. And the hardware prizes already on their way for Season 1, as they should have at least shipped already. So that's exciting stuff for those winners. But Season 2, Greg, let's talk about our second season. A little bit of a change to the car setup to make the racing a little closer, and we were rewarded with some truly thrilling moments. We're going to look at some highlights here in just a moment, Greg, but your thoughts on Season 2. It was hard fought, and you see it in the championship points. It was over 100 points between the leaders in Season 1, just over 20 in Season number 2. So it was certainly competitive and a blast to watch at some of the great racetracks here in iRacing.
It was fierce, is the only way to put it. And I think some of that comes from the understanding of Court and the organizers, the rules makers, the tech people, in looking at what we did that first season in terms of the rule set, and making little tweaks and adjustments to make the cars a little bit more responsive, a little racier, maybe a smidge easier on tires. And the racing responded, and these drivers, these competitors, stepped it up as well, got their heads around those changes very quickly. And the racing was absolutely superb. There were a couple of times after just one night of announcing for a couple of hours, the old throat was a little raw because it was so exciting to call this stuff. And Kyle, I know you put together just an absolutely superb highlight reel that kind of takes a look at some of those spectacular moments of Season 2.
It was hard to pare down, but we'll look at some of the moments from this season. And here is Season 2 highlights from the Full Send Sim Spec Miata series.
Watch for that green flag here. There we go. Big early move again by the number 11 of Rice Puto. He tucks back in. Put a contact there. Two cars.
Oh, no.
Big contact up onto the wall. And we may have the big one here. Opportunity for that right now is to work with Schooler. At a certain point, those gloves will come off, obviously. Comes Soto trying to square up underneath.
Oh, he's in the
got
wall.
Forster into the wall. Into the wall, and here we go. Is that enough for Soto? Coming to the line.
I so think, close.
Did he? Did he? I think Soto got him.
He got him.
Top of the hill, side by side. We got a big one.
Wow, one car
that is
up
huge.
And
That's
over.
Gill, a monster lunge. Down to the inside, does not pick up a spot. Up to do, here we go, into Canada. Schooler drops that left side tire, floats out wide, game over. He's gonna lose second, third, fourth, fifth, then gets hit. Then gets hammered by Rick Segrini. Right now, I think Court Schmidt tucked in behind him, just trying to see what he might be able to do here. But Patrick Schooler, big lockup there.
Oh no, the 1-2 for Rowan Gill just blew an engine on the downshift.
Oh my goodness.
The road. Caleb Patry is going to take home the win in dominating fashion as he comes across the line.
He's going to, he eased over. Now here comes Burkhardt. Throws it down the inside, side by side, light touch. That's it. Patrick runs just a little wide. Burkhardt is through. And floating, great speed around the outside, and has to get, no, he's still in there.
Down the backstretch, he looks left, and Morgan's going to crowd him over to the grass.
Yeah, but he has established that position out there. Morgan, really early turn in. There you see Morgan again, straight lines to the apex. Patrick this time going to try and cut back a little quicker. He's there, side by side. Oh, but he floats way wide.
And that'll lead.
And the kid, Morgan Burkhardt, has survived the onslaught from Patrick.
Oh, he's off.
Two, and he's off. And that can happen here, and it's a long way downside. This is going to be amazing. Oh, a touch, but Burkhardt hangs into it. But now he's got the angle wrong. They touch again, and Soto goes around, collapsing across the line. And yeah, he does get it, Kyle. But now Beans moves to the outside. trying to swing around the outside in 3 and pin the turn in for Burkhardt. Brave to do it around the outside. Beans does not try it. Thinks about cutting back. Floats out wide, and Burkhardt is gonna hang on. Yeah, and Skip Brock trying to come down and underneath the number 36 at Pendergrass. Give him a little shove. Oh, there's a touch, and everybody's scattering, but I don't know that anybody got into the wall. How? I don't understand. And Morgan Burkhardt adds to the points lead. Nicholas Royce Puto a second, and look at Beans giving it everything he possibly could. That first corner can be such a diabolical spot. Absolutely making the move, and he's got position. Bean's going to try and pitch him around. Oh, that was close.
The lead battle here, Greg. It's getting tight again.
Yes,
Half a second
yeah.
between the front two.
So Beans, and here it comes. He did it.
Oh,
he
no.
wasn't close enough, but he did it anyway. Look at that. Now that's a class move.
And here comes Soto.
And Soto saying, thank you, guys. This is going to be an outright drag race. What's going to happen? Soto's got the momentum. He's coming alongside, side by side to the line. Forster or Soto? Does he hang on? Does Rixengrini get the win? He does. What a run by Jordan Rixengrini, beating the point leader Morgan Burkhardt, and he is going to win a second consecutive championship and do it with another win. Morgan Burkhardt going to repeat as champion here in Season 2.
Lots of drama in the season, but there were moments of great racing, some great battles to the start-finish line. We saw it at Long Beach and at Sebring and at Road America. Last lap battles, a lot of locking elbows at times as well, but it was so fun to watch. What a great season of racing, and we mentioned earlier that gap to the winners. It was certainly a tougher season for our eventual champion.
Oh, without question. A lot of pressure there, some people stepping up. And I think another part of what makes this championship interesting is the track selection. Every track we go to is different in some aspect. And, from street tracks to the high-speed tracks like Canadian Tire Motorsports Park or Moseport and, Road America, Mid-Ohio, the technical tracks, Sonoma. It's just a great mix. And so at the end of the season, to be in that top 3 and get those top 3 trophies, Kyle, it means that you have had to excel, you have had to come to grips with, and in some essence, master a huge variety of different tracks that have different requirements for speed and for victory. And, I'll tell you, there's no question that the top 3 this year certainly did that.
Yeah, Morgan Burkhardt, we've talked to him a couple times tonight. Let's talk to him one more time. Morgan, Season 2 championship, you repeat, but as we mentioned, it was tough this season. There was a couple big moments we saw in that highlights reel. Leading on the last lap a couple times, got tangled up, but all in good fun. You still won by just a mere 27 points. Take us through your season and being crowned champion a second time.
Well, it was for sure, like you said, it was very difficult. The first season, I kind of was able to, I think I won by 100 points or something like that. I was fortunate that some of the other competitors missed a couple rounds, had a couple bad rounds, but this season I missed a round and I had a couple bad rounds, and then everybody else either missed or had bad rounds. So we were all kind of on level playing field. So it was just like throwing punches, and they're all hitting at the same place. So it was very difficult, and especially with the setup change that we made for Season 2, we took out about 60 pounds out of the car, so it made it draft a little bit better, which made qualifying that much more important, because in Season 1 I could kind of get away without just going out and doing my own lap on my own, not really worrying about getting a toe behind anybody else, and that would suffice. But in Season 2, I tried to do that for the first couple rounds and ended up 7th, 8th, 9th in qualifying. So had to make up a lot of spots early on. But it made qualifying a lot more of an ordeal, I guess you could say. You had to really time it right and get a good partner and get a good draft lap going. But other than that, it kept the racing a lot closer. It made it that much harder to kind of break away, and you had to really work to be consistent.
Well, and you did exactly that. And even though the challenges were a little bit more intense this second season, Morgan, you were able to figure out a way to once again get up to the front, put together some absolutely wonderful drives, overcome that little bit of adversity, and end up as a double champion. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
In second place for season 2 of the Spec Miata series, there was one driver that just kept coming up every time those high drama moments happened. He was there to take advantage of them, Greg. Beans Forster, second in the championship.
Yeah, when you watch Beans race, when he's got pace, he's up there and he's fighting for wins. When maybe that isn't quite the case, he's always there to take advantage of opportunity. The car is in the right spot should somebody have something happen and be able to accrue those points. And wins are great, but it's points make champions. And, Beans has that understanding. When he can get after it, he does. And when he can't, he's got that car in position to be able to take advantage of opportunity. So Beans, an absolutely incredible second season and another trophy for you, man. Well done.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the second season was definitely a lot more of a challenge and a different challenge than season 1. Season 1, everyone was still trying to get used to the car, and it clicked earlier for some people. And then in season 2, we're all here for the second time. And so my qualifying was definitely not what it was in season 1. But I had to figure out ways to kind of make that work in my favor during the race, whether that's sitting someone's draft and kind of try and save my tires a bit. As long as I can hang up towards the front, survival was a big part of my my game plan in the second season.
Well, and survival means finishing, and finishing means points. And so, again, just absolutely great. And like I said, when, there were times when that speed was absolutely there. And in those moments, you were fierce as always. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. And in third place, it was Nick Rice-Sputo. That was just 10 points behind Beans. I thought I saw Nick in here. Is Nick in here? Thought I saw him lingering. There he is. Nick Rice-Sputo, third place in season 2, just 10 points behind Beans. Take us through your season, because you were right there in the mix many, many times. That Long Beach dramatic finale you were right in the middle of. That was a blast to watch, Nick.
Yeah, the season was really good. I have no complaints, but the first couple races I kind of finished like 4th and 5th. But I was still there towards the middle of the season, and then kind of made the decision that I have a really chance to score very well. So I started working with Jordan and Morgan a lot, and then, as you could tell, towards the end of the season, I kind of switched it on. So
you definitely did. I mean, there was some serious pace in the second half of that season that makes us really look forward to what we're going to see from you in season 3, because you dialed it up and really came after it late in the going. So congratulations, third in the championship. And as you said, at the end of the year, or at the end of that season, showing some really good speed. Well done.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So with our podium awards for our champions awarded, let's move back into the specialty awards and kick things off again with the Greg Creamer Perpetual Trophy. And Greg, you had a quote about Jordan Rick Cingrini's season. Take us through the award for the Perpetual Trophy for season number 2.
Well, as I said when we were talking about the first one, it's kind of the complete package, but it can take different forms. And the thing that really caught my eye about Jordan was he made a big step in his pace this year and in his racecraft, and it showed obviously with that win at Indy. He found it. And that's a big part of it. But more importantly to me is track awareness and his incident avoidance, and the way he goes about that are truly, to me, in the spirit of the joy of the sport. There were many times that he may have had an opportunity to make a move that was on the optimistic side, and some others may have decided to give it a go. And if there was contact, that's how it is. But I just watched the way that he would sometimes just dip the throttle, and get out of it, thinking not just of himself, but of the competitor that he might have hit. But also he was running up at the front more often, and that meant if he had maybe forced that move, it could have affected a lot of people behind him. And that was, something that really, really impressed me. The other part of it was when he was being passed, and whatever the reason, whether he had a little mistake coming out of the previous turn or just somebody had a better toe or whatever, again, there were times when he could have raced somebody to the apex and it could have maybe ended up being a big incident. He was willing to just open the wheel up and, accept. And to me, this is a big thing to accept. All right. In this instance, he had the better drive. It's his corner. I've got to, I'll let him go and get after it again. And he just does a superb job of looking after his competitors, even if it can be at times detrimental to his position on the track. So in short, the reason that I chose Jordan Rixigrini for this year's Greg Creamer Perpetual Trophy is he keeps getting faster. His racecraft and track awareness are excellent. And most of all, he races his competitors with just tremendous respect. And to me, that's the whole package. And Jordan Rixigrini, congratulations on winning the Season 2 Greg Creamer Perpetual Trophy. Well done, my friend.
Jordan, I'm not sure if you can hear us. There you are. I think we got you now. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Greg. First and foremost, I got to say a big thank you. That's truly an honor to win this award. I definitely didn't see that coming. So it means a lot coming from you that you handpicked that. The series has been awesome. I'm a relatively new driver to racing in general. I never did any karting or anything. So the speed's definitely starting to come up. And part of that's due to this series right here. Spec Miata is what I was told to get into, and to be able to race with the same thing on the sim is something that's been very beneficiary to me. And the competitors that come out every week, it's obviously more fun the more people there are. And Greg, Kyle, you guys do an amazing job. My friends come out to watch every week on Monday. So it's a great thing that you guys got going on. And as long as you guys keep doing what you're doing, I feel like this can go pretty far. It's something pretty special, I'd say.
Well, thank you. That's really kind of you to say. And it's competitors like you and that willingness to keep, working at the craft and to race the way you do. That just struck me so much this year. So much respect there. And, no lack of competitive fire, but just combined with respect, that just speak volumes. And, congratulations once again. You're a huge addition to this series, my friend.
Thank you, Greg. I truly appreciate it. And I'll be looking forward to making back for next season.
Awesome. Love to hear it.
All right. Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate it. And Greg, we've got our next award now, the Full Send Sim Sportsmanship Award. This driver was described as being super supportive in the Discord channel where everyone culminates every week. Listed as a very clean driver and is always doing his best to help others and race clean, Greg.
Absolutely. And the inscription on the trophy is, "This esteemed honor pays tribute to individuals who exemplify the highest standards of fair play, respect, and camaraderie in virtual competition." And I don't think there's any question that in real world and in virtual, and certainly in the Full Send Sim Spec Miata series for Season 2 especially, that was Skip Brock Jr.
Yeah, Skip Brock Jr., the winner of the Sportsmanship Award. Skip, I see a little surprise on your face, but I don't think you should be. The Sportsmanship Award winner for season number 2. Take us through your season and what this league has been, how much this league has meant to you since you've joined it.
Oh, as soon as I heard about this league, I was really, really excited about it because I've raced real life Spec Miata for about 10 years now, and I only got into iRacing maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, and this Miata is a dated thing. It's a legacy car. It's not updated anymore. It's not raced anymore. I'm not aware of any other league that races this car at all. And I use it all the time to practice for real life. And I've used it for quite a while to practice for real life and never actually raced it. So it was really exciting to have that opportunity. And I was glad to see some other real life drivers on there. And it's just been so cool to be able to kind of have this in between real life virtual racing culture for the last year or so. It's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it.
Well, we've certainly enjoyed, calling your races. You haven't always had the greatest luck out there, but we've seen some absolutely great charges that you put through the field, running people down and doing an absolutely superb job. And we are just so fortunate to have you in here. And the way you go about it all truly is just the epitome of sportsmanship. Thank you for being a part of this championship.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. I mean, I do try to be as respectful as possible. I think I have made a few mistakes, and everyone says, hopefully everyone who's good at racing says you make your own luck. So a lot of that bad luck might be my fault in the end, but yeah, it's been something that I've focused on. Probably my number one concern is just like, don't take anyone else out. Don't be a menace on the track. Race hard but fair. And so I really appreciate the recognition. That's great.
And you just described why you got it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. We're going to move on now to the 3P Logistics Hard Charger Award. Now, we talked to him a little earlier as well, but this is a driver that was always pushing to the front of the field and found himself in contention for a lot of podiums this season, Greg, and that put him as one of our podium finishers on the season as well.
Absolutely. And we heard how that, the season just got more and more competitive and successful. And again, on this trophy, it says celebrating the fearless pursuit of victory, relentless determination, and unmatched tenacity. And you look at season 2, Kyle, there's no question in my mind this year, that was Nicholas Rice-Puto.
Yeah, just always on it, always up at the front, putting on a show for sure. And definitely some aggression, but well-placed aggression, I think, a lot of the times. And Nick, congratulations on that Hard Charger Award presented by 3P Logistics on the podium and another award.
Thanks, guys. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, take us through your season because, this Hard Charger Award, as Greg described it, it's being aggressive, but it's also placing that aggression well and being in contention and moving yourself through the field. You found yourself up at the front a lot, kind of slicing and dicing in what was a pretty competitive field this year. So take us through some of those battles. Of course, we saw a couple of those. I think, was it Mid-Ohio was one of them as well, but just some really good fights that you had this season with drivers up at the front.
Yeah, I think the whole season I didn't finish below 5th place. So I knew I was going to miss 1 week. So I made sure I stayed consistent. And then once I started working with Morgan and Jordan especially in qualifying, I was able to qualify very well, which kept me up there because of the draft. And it really seemed to click towards the end of the season. I'm really looking forward to next season.
As are we. As I said, that pace.
I'm coming for Morgan.
We love to hear it. Thank you so much. And congratulations, Nick. So well earned.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Nick. And so with our FSS Sportsmanship Award out of the way, 3P Logistics Hard Charger and the Greg Creamer Perpetual Trophy, that just leaves one more specialty award, Greg. That is the Final Turn Motorsports Most Improved Award. Again, a driver that improves throughout the season and applies the things that they learn to every event that they run in. And again, this is a driver that you and I pointed out multiple times in the season during the races, because not only was it advancing over the course of the season, but also throughout an evening, Greg. It was impressive to watch.
It was just, seeing everything clicking during the course of one event was really cool to see. And on this trophy, it says honoring the triumphant journey of growth and dedication in racing's pursuit of excellence. And we saw that, as you said, Kyle, not just over the course of the season, but sometimes from the first green flag to the last checker flag in one event. And our Final Turn Motorsports Most Improved winner this year is Trace Hance.
Yeah, I don't think Trace is here with us, unfortunately, tonight. But Trace Hance, as you and I mentioned, just something that we took note of early on in the season, and he just continued to make that a storyline throughout the year. So Trace Hance, the winner of the Final Turn Motorsports Most Improved Award. So there's the awards out of the way. The podium drivers have also been celebrated, but now we move on to the hardware prizes once again, Greg. And as Court mentioned earlier, direct drive wheelbase, load cell pedals, and a Fanatec H-pattern and sequential shifter. And we talked to him once and twice, and I hope he's still here. Thankfully, he is, because he is back. The winner of the Fanatec Direct Drive Wheelbase is Nicholas Rice-Sputo.
Yeah, exactly. And, obviously, part of it was, we just want to explain, he came running back to the camera, that if you've won one before in a calendar year, obviously, you don't get it. And I think that's such a great concept that Court came up with for this, was if the hardware, it'll shuffle down a little bit to make sure that more and more people get to use it. And Nick, you're getting that Fanatec Direct Drive Wheelbase. Again, a lot of accolades tonight. This one's going to be one that you can physically put to work for you.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, because I have a VRS wheelbase, which is 20 Newton meters, and this Fanatec one is 25, so I might have to give it a shot.
All right.
Well, you certainly earned it, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
We hope that you put it to good use. Thanks so much, Nick Rice-Sputo, and congratulations on the Direct Drive Wheelbase. Load cell pedals, though, Greg, I think you and I will talk a lot about the driving dynamics of a race car, whether it's the sim or in real life, and how much you actually drive with your feet. It's such an important part of driving, and these load cell pedals will help a driver do just that. This is another driver that was always up at the front, found some success at the tail end of the season back at Indianapolis. Greg, this is another driver we've always watched in a bright blue car most of the season. That was Jordan Rixon-Greeny.
Absolutely. And you're so right. When you're driving a car with a gated shifter, it's the balance, it's the ballet, as I call it, of the footwork along with the handwork. And that's one of the things I love about this series is I'm a nostalgia guy, right? And somebody that can master that is really cool. And Jordan, we saw the pace out of you, and hope you can make some good use out of a Fanatec load cell pedals set for you for the upcoming season.
Yes, hopefully we'll be putting that to work pretty soon here. Next season, definitely gonna be putting them in, and then in real life, I have my pro debut actually coming up real soon. So stay tuned for that on my YouTube channel and Instagram. And a big thank you to Court, Greg, Kyle, all the competitors, everybody that really makes this special, and a great training tool and something that you can look forward to every week.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you in it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jordan. And again, those load cell pedals, I have a set myself. They're just underneath me, actually, and I just think they're such a great tool to really feel the brakes, especially get the footwork down. And just speaking to the efficacy of having a 3-pedal set in particular, my first ever time doing a heel-toe downshift was into Turn 5 at Road America in a Spec Miata. I had never done a heel-toe downshift in a real car before. The only experience I had was the muscle memory gained with the pedals and in a simulator, and it went fine, surprisingly. So it was something I had to work on, but my first time heel-toe downshifting, it went into gear, and I didn't break the car. I was really, really, really happy and proud of that, but it was all done on a set of Fanatec pedals, so cool stuff. There is one more piece of kit to give out. The hardware prize is a Fanatec H-pattern and sequential shifter. And this is a driver that, again, we saw consistently up at the front, putting on a show, thinking back to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park and Long Beach, especially at the tail end of the season, Greg, and that was Josh Soto.
Yeah, just, when Josh joined the championship, he was one of those guys that just was immediately battling for the front, was right there. We watched him the first time that I saw him, when we came on and we were in the middle of qualifying, and I was like, whoa, look at this. This guy is right up there. I wasn't familiar with him, and it didn't take long to get real familiar with him because he was a consistent front runner, and they're very, very deserving of this award.
Yeah, so that is your final winner for the hardware prizes this season. But of course, instructors can't win, and you can't also win prizes twice in a row. So that means that more drivers will get access to those in future seasons, Greg. So that's really cool. And again, as we kind of wrap things up here and momentarily, I think before we bring Court back in one more time, what an investment into the community, offering these prizes to drivers and really helping further along iRacing, esports, and the series and the league to invest in the drivers. I think that says a lot about Court and the generosity he's got putting this all on.
I don't think there's any question of that. This concept of if you finish, if you're a 3-time champion, you should get 3 3 champions trophies, right? But the concept that I love of these hardware awards, to have them shift so that double, you can't double up on them, because if somebody is struggling just a little bit, in terms of the cost and wanting to upgrade the sim, but they're showing some real talent, well, they've got an opportunity to use this to be able to make that upgrade. And as you said, that just improves everything. It improves that driver's ability. It improves the racing that we see in the show. It just dominoes, and I think that's kind of visionary, and that's what I like. And I did want to just get back to your comment about your first heel and toe at Road America, as Court says about full send sims, practice makes podium, and in this case, practicing in this series and in a sim, you could see the real world application of these sims, and there are none better than full send. And you just talked about that, how you're able to do something you'd never done before in real life. First attempt. Why? Because you've done it in the sim.
And I knew where the corners went because of the sim. I knew where the corner stations were because of the sim, all of the above. So can't really speak about it enough. But I do want to come back to you, Court, as we finish off the award ceremony tonight. We've awarded our champions for both the previous seasons and all the specialty awards and hardware prizes. But summing things up, the first 2 seasons have been wildly successful, so much fun to watch. The competition is getting so fierce. All of this to say, we're going to continue again with a new season on August 15th. That's when things will start. And August 15th is not a Monday, Court. That is a Tuesday.
That's correct. Yep. We actually we put some feelers out there, and we listened to everyone's feedback and wanted to find out when's a good night for everybody. We started the first season on a Thursday night, and that was working okay. But I race myself, and when it's time to go racing for the weekend, you're prepping on Thursday night, you're leaving Friday morning. It wasn't allowing people to actually kind of achieve what we're looking for, and really what that is practice during the week on the sim, run the track in real life, over the weekend, if that's something you do. So then we went to Mondays, and that was okay. But again, you're coming back from the race weekend, right? So we have now hopefully done the final move. It will be Tuesday nights. At the session start times will start at 7 p.m. The broadcast will start at 7:30, and I think it's going to be kind of an optimal time for viewers and drivers to be able to participate more and have that moving forward. And another thing we've kind of worked on is we are actually going to be replicating true real life season track locations 1 week prior to when you'll actually be racing that weekend. And we'll be following a lot of the SCCA regional races and majors races whenever we can, trying to make those tracks available for drivers to be able to practice that immediate week beforehand, so it's fresh in their mind when they go. I use it myself that way too, and it's worked out really well. And not every week we'll be able to do that, but I think for the most part, we're gonna really try to stick to that and try to just facilitate that kind of that training aspect. That's what I'm kind of ingrained in, with a lot of the military simulation I did in the past, and just that training aspect, and it just really helps a lot. And if you're going to be spending time doing something, having fun, you might as well be training at the same time. So, and another thing that I'm really happy about is these hardware prizes actually paid out all the way down to P6 this season. We've got another season to go throughout the year to finish it up, and everyone that's won one, it's going to go down to the next line below that. So, we could be potentially paying out, who knows, P10 maybe? I don't know. We've got, our instructors coming on board, and we've got a lot of people that have, placed in podium and won those prizes. So it's just going to keep up and down. So I like to see that. I like to see that everybody's really getting involved and really enjoying it. And, I'm kind of beside myself, honestly. I really do appreciate everything that everyone has put into this, and just the appreciation that we're seeing as well. So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Court. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, absolutely, Court. A couple of things with the later start. I understand that the races are going to be just a couple minutes shorter, so that we don't push too long into the evening. And there's also going to be a change in the point structure. Yes.
Correct. So we're still working the final scheduling and everything, but yes, the races have been shortened. That is also to allow for another league that a lot of folks run, the Ray Esports League. We've worked very hard not to step on leagues that have already existed. We just want everybody to be able to run whatever they want. You know, Steve Ray's a great guy. I've known him for a few years now. He supports our league. We support their league, and it's just a great environment. And so we've actually shortened the sprint races by 5 minutes. They're going to be 20-minute sprint races, which is real life anyway, right? Most sprint races are run, and those are even run with full course yellows. So there's no reason why we can't accomplish a 20-minute race. And quite frankly, it's going to probably bump up the excitement a little bit because you got five less minutes, and at Sebring, a track like Sebring or something, that's pretty much one lap you got left, you know. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, the races are going to be shorter. Point structure, we're still finalizing a lot of stuff, but there will be a big release coming out very soon. We're also looking at some potential sponsors that are looking to come on board. If anyone out there is interested, you know, we're open to all the support we can get. These hardware prizes aren't cheap, trophies aren't cheap, and you know, thanks to Final Turn and 3P for supporting us, you know, this far, and we really appreciate everything they've done. We've had some drivers joining with them and, you know, getting into their real life stuff. So we've got another major Spec Miata team that we're currently talking with, a very well-known one. And so just, you know, some other companies that we want to help promote. We're putting a whole sponsorship package together now that, you know, we're going to be, even the major real life events that we go to, these sponsors are now going to be on our trailer. We have pro esports teams, which we haven't even touched on, but our pro esports teams are doing outstanding. Beans Forrester leading up those teams. We won the 12-hour Sebring this season. And so we're going to be putting those sponsors on the cars. There's a lot to it. So anyone that's interested in that, we'd love to have them.
It just continues to grow, and we absolutely love to hear that, because the racing here has just been phenomenal. And you know, before we go here, I just like to you know, give a round of applause to all of our competitors out there. Just, you guys have been just absolutely phenomenal. It's been a joy to call your races and to you know, watch you do what you do out there. So congratulations, one and all, and a heartfelt thanks from me to have me, one, Court, have me as a part of this, and two, to all of the competitors out there. It's a joy to announce these races. I have to admit, when the esports thing was you know, growing, I wasn't sure how I was going to take to it, and because of the type of competition that you guys put on, man, you know, like I say, green flag drops, I'm all in, and I'm all in with you guys.
And I want to also thank Greg for being a part of this. Greg, I was watching some YouTube clips the other day from the American Le Mans Series, and I think it's really, really cool that everybody here gets to race in iRacing and have their race called by a world-renowned broadcaster. So, Greg, I think that is such a cool thing for me to work alongside you, and for the drivers to race with that voice calling their action. I think that's really cool. And, Court, thanks to you for having Greg on and having me on as well. We couldn't be here without your support of us in this project, and I'm so grateful to be alongside Greg and to be calling all of these racers in every event that they do. It's just been such a pleasure. So, Court, thanks again for putting this on.
Thank you, guys.
And Greg, I guess final thoughts. Season 3 coming up on August 15th. That's a little more than a month from now, and we get to do it all over again with a slightly revised format, different night, but I think the same great action, maybe even better as we move on to Season 3.
I think so. I mean, you know, everybody just continues to get better and better. I think, you know, as Court alluded, the slightly shorter races is just going to put, you know, more emphasis on getting there in a hurry. And that's what makes the racing exciting. And as we've seen from our competitors and our award winners tonight, and everybody who's been a part of these 2 seasons thus far, I just think it's just going to keep getting exponentially better. And I can't wait for it. And I love the fact that it's since it's a little longer season, it's a little shorter off season before the next one starts. And I think that's wonderful.
I think it's great. I can't wait for it. August 15th, we start Season 3. Kyle Heyer alongside Greg Creamer, Court Schmidt, and all the drivers here that have joined us digitally tonight. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in August for the start of Season 3 of the Full Send Sims Esports Series. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.